Alright folks, welcome to Premium Fuel Magazine. Today we're going to be working on the M6 and we're going to be replacing the soft closed door actuators. So what does the soft closed door actuator do? So this car has the comfort package on it, which gives you the comfort access door close option, which means that basically when you go to close your doors, you don't even have to slam it. All you have to do is just kind of place it there and you see it kind of closes there by itself. Do that one more time for you. See how the door just kind of pulls itself in there. Back when this technology came out in like the 90s, they used to have it on the trunks on like Lincoln Town cars, and you had to be really careful. If people didn't know and they slammed your trunk, it would actually break the mechanism. But this one, you can actually close the door like normal and it still works. So that's a really cool feature. Unfortunately, a week after I got this car, it actually broke over on the driver's side. And at first it just didn't function, and you know, that was kind of sad for me and annoying, but just a week ago it started doing this. Making that grinding noise, and I can't be doing that. So we're going to replace the mechanism. So what I have here is a whole new door latch assembly, and that's going to go inside the door, and this has the soft close mechanism and everything built into it. This is the same for the F13 5 Series and a few other vehicles as well. I cross-referenced the parts, so the install process should be pretty similar. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to be flying blind today. I wasn't able to find any good install videos for this particular chassis, so I'll just be taking you pretty much through the process that I'm going through and showing you what I've done. Unfortunately, when I make videos like that, I can't talk about everything in detail before I do it and show you exactly what I'm doing. I kind of have to explain to you guys what happens after the fact. So anyways, we're going to get this thing, the door all taken apart. We're going to get this in there, and you're going to go ahead and go through it with me. Alright, so first things first, you got to get this door card out of the way. And the only way to do that is basically it's only attached to this thing by clips and one Torx bit screw all the way up here near the front. Unfortunately, it's too dark for you to see. We're going to get some light just in a second. So there's one screw. The rest of this thing is being held on by Torx bits. And the way I was able to get those pulled off, these little tabs here, is I started off by just inserting a flathead screwdriver down at the bottom of the door just in case if it got scratched. Nobody's ever going to see that. And I just slid it in there, worked it back and forth just a little bit, not to scratch anything or damage anything, and then I just started pulling these things straight back. If you're super anal, you want to go ahead and secure yourself some extra ones of these clips, because these things break all the time. They fall out, they get lost, and then your door never goes back properly. I didn't come prepared for this one, so hopefully I don't damage anything in the process. So once you get all these clips pulled back, your door card will look just the way that it does here. Okay, next up, I went ahead and unplugged the door speaker, which is this little blue wire here. I unplugged this wire from down here just because there was extra tension on it, which I think is probably just one of the LED light accent lights inside the door. And I removed the door latch actuator, which is easy to tell because it's a gray cable that goes all the way up from your door latch to over here, and basically it connects just like a throttle cable. It kind of sits in this slot here and it hooks to this hook which actuates your door latch. This is your door lock mechanism. That's probably going to have to come out at some point. Just a side note, this is the F13 BMW, which is the M6/6 Series Coupe. If you're doing this on another car, a lot of modern BMWs, I'm sure other cars as well, have airbag related parts inside the door. You want to be very careful as to what you're unplugging and plugging back in. I don't think you're going to set off any airbags, but you could set off your airbag light. And if you do that, then you have to probably go to the dealer or pay somebody to get that turned off. The way to mitigate that would be to unplug your battery while you do this kind of stuff. Normally, when you have airbag related stuff, there's a label and it'll say like airbag on it. I didn't see any kind of airbag labels on this door, so I went ahead and didn't disconnect my battery because it's kind of a pain to do that in this car as well. So definitely look out for any airbag labels so that you don't end up causing more problems for yourself. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have to peel back this little sound deadening slash weather stripping to get access inside the door. And just looking at this, looks like it's going to be very fun. Okay, so this is the other side of the door actuator, which you could see on the table. And pretty much we're going to have to hit 1, 2, 3 screws there. We're going to have to hit this Torx bit here, and we're going to have to hit this Torx bit and this Torx bit and try to shimmy all of this hardware out through this hole. So let's go ahead and try to get that done, and I'll let you guys know what happens after that. Oh, the last thing that I unplugged is this controller here, which probably controls your door locks and your windows and stuff like that. Not 100% sure, but I unplugged that as well just to be able to get the door card over inside the car. Alright, so this is your door lock peg, and in order to remove this guy, you just pull it straight out towards you, and that'll pop out like such. Once you get all your screws off, it's still going to be stuck in there. All you got to do is just put a little bit of pressure on it, and it'll actually come out of there. So I actually loosened mine up already, and I'm trying not to keep it from falling into the door, but now you can see this guy is loose and it's ready for me to try and fish it out of there. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take these 3 screws out, try to disconnect these connectors, and just try to remember how to connect them back up to the next car. These 2 connectors look pretty straightforward. It's going to take a little bit of investigation on my part as to how to get that off. It looks like it just pulls straight off, or actually no, that's how the 2 parts connect together, so I don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and get these things unbolted and start pulling more stuff apart. Okay, so I've started getting this guy out. I made a mistake about unplugging this thing. This is actually part of the unit, so all of this is connected together. Everything is disconnected. So all I have to do at this point is to puzzle piece and fish how to get this thing out. So that's what I'll be working on. All right, guys, one more thing. One more thing happens a lot when I'm doing these things on the fly, and I haven't done it prior to making these videos. But anyways, as you can see, this sort of tan cable is still connected to the door latch unit, which I assume comes from your actual door handle. And it looks fairly simple to pop that out. It may not be so easy to put it back in once all of this stuff, once I feed the new parts back into the car. But that piece right there is going to need to pop out. And then, if there's nothing else that surprises me, this whole unit should come out of there. So I'll be working on that. Alright, so we've got that guy out of there. It's a little bit more difficult than what I expected. What you actually have to do is actually push everything behind this window regulator arm there. And as you can see, I put a couple of scratches in the sound deadening. That's how tight it is to try and fit through there. And then if you pull your weather stripping material back a little bit further, there's a huge hole back here for you to push everything through. So originally I had pulled the lower part of the motor out from down here, but that actually had to go back in there. Everything had to go behind the window regulator. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the old part, we're going to put it next to the new part and make sure that we have the same part. Alright, so doing a side-by-side comparison, most of the hardware actually looks identical. Unfortunately, the cable on the original piece is twice as long as the cable on the new piece, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to work out for my purposes. But the purpose of this video is not how to convert one part to work on the other one. This should have been the same part. It's not. I'm just going to go ahead and try to figure that out. Switching these cables, one cable to the other one. The other side, looks like there's plenty of wire on this one to account for that, so I shouldn't have to mess with the wires. So I'm going to go ahead, try to swap this cable over, and then continue with the install. Alright, so we got a little side mission going on here, and that's basically what I said before. I'm going to try and Frankenstein these 2 devices together to make one good working device. So I've got the new part taken apart, and as you can see, the cable goes across here. It attaches here to this gear, and that gear spins a sprocket, worm screw spins that sprocket, and that coils up the gear, which is what actuates the door latch mechanism. I was able to take this one apart because it's not held together by any kind of adhesive. But if you look on here, they've actually plastic welded this thing, so there's actually no way to get it open without destroying it. And so basically I've already made the decision. I'm going to destroy this thing to get it open. What I think probably happened is there's been a failure on this gear, or maybe on this gear somewhere, and it just got shredded or stripped or something, but you can hear it grinding. That's where the grinding noise is coming from. So I'm going to go ahead and try to cut this guy open and see if I can get the cable out of there. Hopefully, you know, these things are pretty similar. Hopefully everything looks the same on the inside. If not, this car is going to be sitting here until I can find a correct working door latch. Alright folks, side mission update. I actually figured out exactly where this thing went wrong. So this cable here, this section should actually be one piece. That should all be together, and that's what holds the cable in place. So what happened is this guy snapped right here, and it tried to pull the entire cable into the mechanism here, and that's why it wasn't functioning. So I'm literally changing out this entire mechanism, and I'm carrying over the broken part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to patch this thing together. 9 chances out of 10 I'm going to end up having to replace this again here in the future. It may not even work the first time. We'll see what happens, but for your purposes, at least now you know what the parts look like. One has a short cable, one has a long cable. If you have a 6 Series or F13 M6, that's what your parts should look like, so you don't get into the same mess that I'm in right now. So I'm going to go ahead and try to reconstruct this thing and make a working part out of it, and then next you'll see the reinstall process. Alright, so now I have put my old broken parts into the brand new assembly of the new door latch mechanism. We'll see if that works out. But anyways, just giving you guys one more look at this thing outside of the car. So this is your actual door latch that holds your door closed. This is the inside door handle actuator, and you can see that from the cable when you pull your door card off. This is your door lock actuator right here. And this right here is for your external door handle, and that's the one that's really kind of hard to get in and out of the door. Should be easier to put back in, but it's really hard to get that thing out once inside the door. So we're going to go ahead and try to feed all of this back into the car, and we'll see if it works. Alright guys, so I'm currently putting the new unit in the door. This is the old unit in case you didn't recognize it. But I'm just going to show it to you on this one because there's no way I can actually show it to you while it's inside the door. But this piece right here, I don't know what it does, but there's a little gray shaft that goes into it. It's all the way up. It's all the way up here in this area near your door handle. Make sure you figure out how to get that shaft into there as you're fitting everything into place. Alright folks, for the most part, getting everything fitted back in is not super difficult, especially after you've been the one who got it out. Lining up that shaft, which is right in this area here, is actually the hardest part. I spent quite a bit of time fighting with that, and what I ended up doing to get that lined up is reach my arm through the hole that's down here, and I kind of put it in position, but the thing is the splines don't line up 100% and it just won't go in. So what I did to account for that is I just went ahead and put my key in the lock, and I turned the key ever so slightly, and as soon as I turned it, it dropped into place and everything lined up. The latch lined up with the slot that it's supposed to be in, and I went ahead and tightened everything down. So now I'm gonna go ahead and plug everything back in and give it a test. Alright folks, the moment you've been waiting for. It's the first time doing that in almost a year of owning this car. Feels good to have everything working once again. So that's pretty much it for the install of this video. Once again, sorry things are a little bit back and forth and out of order, but you know, I'm just doing this install off the cuff without a previous DIY for myself. And now the information is out there for you guys, so hopefully you get the correct parts. You don't have to do crazy stuff that I did, but at least you know how to get the old mechanism out and put the new mechanism in. Thanks for watching, folks. Catch you next time.